The field watches are sometimes the least loud timekeepers from the watch genre's perspective, but most of the times they are the best companions or storytellers for ourselves. So we'll start this selection with a very interesting piece, the Longines Marine Nationale. This is one of the most appealing watches that Longines made in the modern era, and a pure example of the quote, "less is more." Longines made a lot of reissues after iconic pieces from their history. However, the Marine Nationale felt special. Firstly, we have to point out the accuracy of the reissue, scaled to a modern 38mm size, with a robust but elegant case, a crazy simplified dial, and a severe box crystal. Inside we have a creamy grainy dial with some purposeful black numerals and thermally blued hands. So an extremely simple symmetric dial signed with the old brand logo and a Fab Suisse label, which, in order not to be confused with a French brand, they specified on the dial the Fab Suisse provenance. An accurate reissue, solid specs with a Cosc caliber, black lume numerals with just a simple downside, 19mm between the lugs. And looking at Hamilton, a selection of field watches is not relevant if the Hamilton Khaki is not part of it. So a definitive icon within the old-school military watches of World War II, from a brand which delivered such pieces for that purpose. Today, the Khaki field is one of the most valuable watches for many reasons, because it has a super slim blasted case which hosts a solid mechanical 80 hours power reserve movement provided by ETA, a domed sapphire crystal on top with a great legible dial, has drill lugs, my favorites, and everything described sits in the price range of $400. So a powerful adaptive watch which sits well on a blasted bracelet, on a NATO, even on a leather strap. An advantage because this model hosts 20mm between the lugs. The only downside here is 50m swell resistance. And then moving to the Certina DS2. Wait, is this combo new? This model is actually part of the latest Certina DS2 collection. The model features a tonneau robust case which made famous the DS2 line for more than 50 years. And as FYI, the DS2 comes from 200m wall resistance, so imagine how solid the case is. As details, we have a beautiful sunburst red dial which in strong light gets faded and captures depth, transforming into a red wine color. Pretty cool. But getting back to this combo, the cool part is that the DS2 has the same case design and the same lug width as the DS2 turning bezel. The diver launched this year by the brand, so the bracelet fits. And with this bracelet edition I basically made the perfect combo which emulates one of their vintage red dial Certina DS2 with the iconic H bracelet. As specs, the watch offers a see-through caseback, Powermatic 8611, 80 hours power reserve, a box sapphire crystal, and solid Swiss Superluminova markers. This model features the DS2 concept which ensures longevity and robustness, being priced below $1,000. Following the 200m waterproof watches, we are looking at the Timex Expedition North. A surprising addition for the brand because quality-wise this is a step up for the Expedition line. So the brand offers a titanium design with crown guards, featuring a beautiful blasted finish which makes it to look more like a tool than probably it is, offering a contradiction between the robust and the tool aspect of the watch versus the extremely lightweight case. So an anti-magnetic watch with a dial which complements the case design with a grainy pattern, having embossed loomed numerals and the North Expedition logo at 12 o'clock, plus some good-looking hands which are properly filled with long-lasting lume. And as negatives, for its size, I felt the watch a bit too tall proportions-wise. And although this is a step up from Timex, from the quality perspective, $400 with taxes, it feels a bit too expensive for the brand. And then surprise the Sarb033, which is another super icon signed by Seiko, which held the flag as one of the best field watches for the entry price range for many years. And for good reasons, this model exceeds in many aspects its initial price, starting from the interesting curved and decorated case inspired from the Grammar design, which today is a signature for the Grand Seiko line. The watch features a flat sapphire crystal, a see-through caseback which unveils the 6R15 movement, 100 meters wall resistance, and lume on the inferior part of the markers and on the hands. A strap monster and a super comfortable timekeeper which I still believe is a solid budget alternative to the Rolex Explorer. A watch that Seiko tried for many years to bury because it was too good. Probably most of the people are still in the denial phase with the newer Seiko watches just because the Sarb is unmatchable from the quality versus the price asked, having zero downsides. Moving from Japan to Switzerland, but feels like we're going back to Asia. Anyway, Nivada is a brand with heritage, which has a lot of exceptional designs to revive from their past, and the Super Antarctic is one of it. They released this thin profile with a true 38mm diameter and a screw-down crown which ensures 200 meters war resistance. Features a beautiful box sapphire which works very well with the volume of the interesting case with a twist towards the lugs. And if we flip the watch, we can preview the beautiful Super Antarctic medallion, and inside having the caliber soap rod P024 with 38 hours power reserve. As dial design, I like the cardinal positioning of the loomed triangles, because it makes the watch extremely legible and the loom does not disappoint. In my view, the Super Antarctic is as well a budget alternative to the Rolex Explorer 1, especially with the second iteration with the 369 dial, keeping the same layout of the Rolex Explorer hands. And as negatives, probably just the price increase in time from $700 to $950 plus taxes if you are in the European Union. And getting higher in price, the Rolex Explorer 1 is a definitive super icon and a watch that influenced a lot of brands across years. Even in this list, there are field watches which are based on the Explorer's identity, which become themselves popular. I think the Explorer is better than ever with a crisp dial and the solid proportions, offering a sweet spot between design, robustness, refinement, and quality. And with the latest Explorer editions, the brand succeeded to highlight and put in better light the iconic 369 dial, its markers and the hands against the lacquered dark dial. So an elegant field watch ready for any environment, which can handle any situation, from a wedding to a freezing mountaineering day. I'm not mentioning the price because, in my opinion, and despite its amazing accuracy and iconic look, it is an expensive watch with a highly decreased value retention. So, accuracy-wise, my Explorer sits between the superlative chronometer specs, no matter if the watch is worn or sits in a box winded. However, as downsides, the 19mm lug width makes it less attractive, killing the strap monster potential of this watch. The new Tudor Ranger is impressive. I had the previous Ranger, so I can confirm that. And I can tell that this is more accurate and more Ranger than ever. However, personally, because I own and wear small-size 3-hands watches, it feels a bit large for a 3-hands Explorer despite its 39mm diameter, so it wears a bit bigger than the specs. Other than that, excellent quality, fully brushed case and bracelet, box sapphire, in-house cost caliber MT5502 with 70 hours power reserve, a large dial with extremely legible numerals and hands featuring excellent loom. And on top of this, it comes with a good bracelet with a T-fit clasp which helps in adjusting the watch on the fly. This should be appreciated especially on field watches because this feature is more relevant for diving tools. As even better if I would have seen this model made in 37mm or closer to the original one to serve better the purpose of a legible under-the-radar field watch. The Mido Multifort TV Big date is so aquanaut that nobody will tell it's a different watch. That aquanaut it is. The quality is amazing, the watch is robust, but sculpted in a way to hug the wrist with ease. And when I've seen it in flesh, I bought it immediately because there are so many hit points on this watch that I couldn't miss it. Firstly, the dial is elegant and refined, offering drama in the same time, because of the vertical pattern and the fume gradient. The Big Date feature is simply spectacular with a Glasuta original style, which features 2 separate discs that change simultaneously, so there is a bit of engineering behind. The case finishing is very good, the proportions are ideal, the H bracelet feels to be the same quality as the one from the Certina DS2. However, leaving the bracelet behind, the rubber is a solid option to be considered as well. Inside we have the Mido ETA caliber 80, and following the thread, this might be the base of the ETA 2824 with a Big Date feature and 80 hours power reserve. Personally, I don't see it like a poor man's Patek or a replica of an expensive watch, but of an extremely well-built watch which costs less than $1,000. Of course, a list of field watches cannot be published without the Seiko Alpinist. A watch which is still one of the Seiko's fan favorites. And it feels like every time a new Alpinist is launched, it creates enough hype and sales volumes for the brand, despite its price increase from one release to another. I personally like the platform and the way it wears. I think this is an adaptive watch which, because of the case design, it works in more contexts than expected, and it can be worn on a bracelet or a NATO or on a leather strap. As specs, the watch is as well extremely robust, offering 200 meters water resistance, a sapphire crystal with a lollipop, and an extra crown to adjust the inner bezel compass. The newer generations are equipped with a 6R35 movement with 70 hours power reserve and a well-finished case, in my opinion. The Alpinist dials in general are very well made, appealing. The only debatable thing must be the cathedral hands, where in some contexts the lume overlaps with the hands, and on macro level sometimes it doesn't look as good as it should be. So this is my selection of field watches for this year, and I'm really curious to know which one is your favorite and why. Please let me know in the comments below. And as usual, if you're new around, please consider subscribing for future episodes. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and until next time. Be brave, but stay safe.